Let's take the next 7 minutes to talk about work culture. Most of us have lived through it. It's not always pleasant, but we can all agree the way culture is instilled affects teamwork performance deep. Let's begin breaking down by defining teamwork. Teamwork is an effective method to address problems in a workplace. A team is a group of people that gathers together to achieve a common goal. If you think about it, the power of one person is small. But if you are integrated into a team, you can maximize your value and achieve personal excellence. Those who always work alone or finish the projects assigned by their boss on their own will benefit from this research because they will realize if, that if they don't work with others, they will have to finish their task more effectively and rapidly.
Moving on, we're going to talk about how leadership plays a role in teamwork. It's very important to bring up the fact that leadership plays a role in our day to day lives and that it provides support and knowledge that the subordinates need from their leader. This is something that we do not take into consideration on a daily basis, and once an employee knows about this, their role in the work culture is much better. Moving on to work environments. There are many kinds of work types of cultures, and there are two very prominent ones, which are the ones we're going to talk about today: hierarchy and democratic. It's very interesting how important these are considering how opposite they are. So, for a hierarchical organization structure, there's a direct chain of command, and there's a top leader and the bottom subordinates. The information is usually a funnel that goes from the top to the bottom, and all decisions are made at the top. Meanwhile, the organizational democracy implies that there's a form of organizational governance in which all people rule, not only the managers and the shareholders. The term democracy actually comes from the word demokratia in Greek, which is assembled from the word demos, which means people, and kratian, which means to rule.
Moving on to the types of hierarchical leadership structures. Hierarchical leadership structures can be functional or diversional. As the name suggests, functional hierarchies are organized by such business functions as engineering or marketing. Diversional structures, on the other hand, are organized by location, each of which approaches as a quasi-separate entity. On the other hand, non-hierarchical structures are often referred to as organic. A flat non-hierarchical structure has few layers, each of which reports to a single individual. The matrix combines a set of function and diversional hierarchies to create a rather complex structure with dual hierarchies. Let's also talk about characteristics of hierarchical leadership. A hierarchy is a logical organizational structure in which power belongs to the position rather than the individual. The risk of an organization's leader abusing power is thus reduced. Management assigns duty according to employees' specialized skills. So roles and power structures are clearly defined and employees would grow in their inches. The possibility of advancement serves as an employee's primary motive for success.
Characteristics of non-hierarchical leadership. Non-hierarchical leadership is decentralized, the authority to make decisions spread across a flat organization, not concentrated at the peak or vertical one. Decentralization gives the employee a high level of responsibility and accountability for the work, as well as a bigger task. An outcome to encourage functional diversity within the role, and with it, creativity because every employee aren't confined to a specific area of specialization. This allows the organization to operate within less redundance, as team can share more resources more readily than hierarchical division can. The flexibility inherent in non-hierarchical division structure allows the organization to adapt very quickly to the changes. Now, coming to pros and cons, in a team of most crucial interaction, hierarchy and democracy are the factors that affect interaction and communication patterns. Strong hierarchical value pave the way for coordinated effort, but at the same time, they can mask the voice of others in the face of threat. Functional description of hierarchies suggests that they can improve group coordination and reduce conflict by clarifying and creating a pattern of respect. In contrast to dysfunctional argument in hierarchy undermine performance by preventing low-level team members from expressing their potential value views and insight, but allowing democracy in hierarchy where low-ranking people can speak up and share critical information and can also improve performance.
How to diagnose what kind of culture you're working in. To diagnose the kind of culture you're currently working in, you can follow the next 2 easy steps. Step number 1. Determine the structure the company follows. If it is a hierarchical culture, there will be a strict structure with one main leader, and information will be transmitted through the company through a funnel. If it's democratic, there will be multiple leaders. Information is readily available to all, and opportunity to collaborate is abundant. Step number 2. Look for what remains static. If employees in leadership roles remain constant for long periods of time and cultural aspects, such as mission and vision, remain consistent with company history, then the company is following a hierarchy. If there are changes in leadership, new goals being introduced constantly, and changes in mission and vision, it is a democratic culture. As we wrap up this video, it's important that we truly understand the behavior of these structures. We know they have different styles of leadership, which are effective towards each individual's performance. It is very important for anybody to identify the right working culture and what will help them grow and develop the most. After assessing the pros and cons of both cultures, we can conclude that one isn't superior to the other. The ideal situation would be to have a good balance of both cultures, incorporating the best characteristics of both to have open communication, defined leadership roles, a stable mission and vision, and a clear goal. This is all by Team 1. Thank you very much and see you next time.